So good evening, ma'am and classmates. So tonight we will tackle about the baking in the Philippines, which is the history of baking. So have you wondered how the art of baking began and spread its reach across the Philippines? Baking itself goes back at least 1,000 years. The use of enclosed ovens to produce bread and pastry was probably introduced by European explorers and colonizers. So here's the example of the 7th century oven as depicted by Jean-Francois Millet. Pies and cakes were prevalent in Europe during the 7th century, and as the continent spread its reach across the seas, they brought the art of baking along with it. So, next, Philippines baking influences from around the world. So, baking in the Philippines goes back at least 1,000 years ago. So, as the continent spread its reach across the seas, it brought the art of baking along with it. One school of thought is that Spanish missionaries introduced baking to the country. Wheat was often used in food by missionaries who introduced the diet as well as the preparation and process to the locals. So here's my picture of the Dominican friar circa 16 or 1875, spreading religion and recipes to the locals. So that is the picture. So in other hand, as early as 618 AD, China was already making mooncakes. So Philippine baking influence from around the world. Baking in the Philippines goes back to at least 1,000 years ago. So, as the continent spread its reach across the seas, it brought the art of baking along with it. One school of thought is that Spanish missionaries introduced baking to the country. Wheat was often used in food by missionaries who introduced the diet as well as the preparation and process to the locals. So, on the other hand, so this is my example picture of the Dominican friars circa 16 or 1875, spreading religion and recipes to the locals. That is my example photo. So on the other hand, as early as 1618 AD, China was already making mooncakes. So, mooncakes, that's very interesting. And the early settlers and traders who landed on Philippine shores also inevitably shared this unique process of using dry heat to make bread and other desserts. So, this is my example of the ancient baking mold of mooncake. So, that is my example. Next is, however, let us not forget the contribution of our Malay ancestors. So, who introduced sticky rice cakes and layer cakes? So, one can argue that the Malays' knowledge of baking was still derived from their Dutch colonizers, but the ingenuity in the use of local ingredients such as rice, corn, and coconut, as well as making do with clay pots and wooden steamers, created something totally original. So, here is my example photo of the koala piece with the colorful appearance and layered arrangement makes it a likely source of inspiration for sapin. Yeah, sapin. Okay. Next is the history of the baking oven in the Philippines. So, evidence of the most ancient oven in the world dates back to over 6 millennia. So, millennia ago. So, according to some source, it was discovered in Croatia. Before this, ancient bakers used flat, hot stones to make bread. So, the ancient Greeks lead the pack when it came to the practice of baking bread. It is believed that this began in 600 BC, in the days of the Roman Empire. Being a pastry chef was still a top profession. So today, pastry chefs the world over enjoy celebrity status. So the use of ovens in the Philippines all started with a humble pot oven or palayok. So you're familiar naman in palayok. So this is still in use today. Yes, it is still used, especially in some restaurants, in some what do you call that, or like some tourist spots. So Filipino bake their creations in a palayok over charcoal. So it was set on top of a hibachi, a Japanese grill. It may come as a surprise, but the hibachi was first used in ancient Japan. With the advent of electricity in the 80s, came the use of industrial ovens. So today, we enjoy the convenience of a wide range of ovens. So these are powered by gas, electricity, conduction, and convection. So other types are microwave, toaster, roaster, and even self-cleaning ovens. So that's how this generation use the history of cake in the Philippines. So the history of cake in the Philippines starts with our Malay ancestors. So they introduced sticky rice cakes and layer cakes. One can argue that the Malays' knowledge of baking stems from their Dutch colonizer, but we can thank the Malays for their ingenious use of local ingredients. So this includes rice. Yes, I mentioned it, coconut, and they also taught us how to do with the clay pots and wooden steamers to create original baked goods. But the history of bread and pastry in the Philippines began with European explorers and colonizers. They introduced enclosed ovens to the locals, and when the American came to our shores, they introduced the use of flour and technology needed to mill it. So that is Maria Arosa and her contribution to the Philippine baking. If there's one person in our history that we can thank for all of her baking contribution, it's Maria Arosa. She developed foods from native ingredients using her background as a chemist. One was darak, made from rice bran, and the other, soyalak, from soybean. So our love for banana ketchup is also thanks to her. She also introduced powdered calamansi and certain types of local wine. So the palayok was her invention. She risked her safety to smuggle food to the prisoners of war during the Japanese occupation. So a true heroine, she was a guerrilla captain who fought for Philippines' independence. So what is the role of baking the Filipino lifestyle? Like other aspects of Filipino life, different cultures comprise our history as a baking country. It has become part and parcel of growing up Filipino. Food items such as ensaymada, sapin-sapin, leche flan, and biko were integral to one's childhood. Having baked goods at home became a common thing. Breakfast would consist of tasty bread, and puto or mamon would be during merienda. So these are my examples with just a few examples of different types of Filipino baked goods and kakanin. So let's move forward. So for the everyday Filipino, there is a bakery sa kanto. That's the thing that we call neighborhood bakery. It is there. No. It is there that one satisfies craving for pandesal, kalayaan, and monay. Yeah, you're familiar with monay, right? So this is my example of the typical bread that you can find in neighborhood bakery. Next is For those who could afford an oven, cake and cookies, bread and similar desserts became staples. Or no, sorry, staples. So these are enjoyed during mealtime, snacks and feast. So these are my examples of a modern kitchen where baking techniques of yesterday and appliances of today's meet. So that's the modern one. So let's move forward. So the importance of baked goods in Philippine tradition is undeniable. There's no definitive answer to how it is all begun due to our foreign influences. What we do now is the importance of this wonderful and delicious art. It has been vital in every Filipino's life.
10 breads and pastries that Filipino love.
These bread and pastries from the Philippines are well liked by their equally self-affecting Filipinos or Pinoy makers who take delight in the thought that their baked creation nourish their bodies and lift their spirit. Number one is pandesal or pandesal, the most humble of Filipino bread is also the most popular pandesal, which is made simple with egg, flour, salt, sugar, and yes. While pandesal can be eaten on its own, many Filipinos for it Many Filipinos fill it with cheese, coconut, jam, peanut, butter, fried egg, etc. And the next one is siopaw. Siopaw is a round, white steamed bun stuffed with pork, beef, shrimp, or salted egg, and flavored with sweet or spicy sauce. It is very filling and it's usually eaten by Filipinos on the go, a snack in the mid-afternoon. Siopaw is originally from China, where is it called baozi. It also popular in Thailand, where it's called salapao. The third one is ensaymada, a kind of brioche. Ensaymada is a rounded Filipino bread flavored with grated cheese and sprinkled with sugar on the top, making it popular among sweet tooth kids at heart alike. Ensaymada is suited to the people from all walks or like our local bake shop sells it for a dim or dim, but we can also get upscales ensaymada in 5-star hotels where it is topped with buttercream and filled with purple yam, ham, salt egg, or makapuno. The next one is buko pie. Buko pie is a traditional Filipino baked pastry that uses coconut, a fruit present everywhere. Buko pie was Buko pie was originally plain. More recently, essence of almond, pandan, and vanilla has been used to add interesting flavors to this already yum dish. The five one is crema de fruta, a staple during the Yuletide season. In the Philippines, crema de fruta was originally a soft bake layered with cream, custard, candied fruit, and top of the gelatin. Recently, however, Filipino have created crema de fruta using layer of honey flavored crackers, cream, condensed milk, candied fruits, and gelatin. The sixth one is hopia. Hopia is a customary delicious gift that Filipino give to friends and families on special occasion. It can also be eaten on just about any ordinary day. So the hopia has four types flavors. So hopyang munggo, hopyang baboy, hopyang ube, hopyang hapon. And the seventh one is empanada. Empanada is a world organized pantry that got its name from the Spanish verb empanar, which means it's a wrap in a bread. It's made by wrapping dough around filling of meat, cheese, fruit, and vegetables. The Filipino-style empanada is usually filled with beef, chicken, potatoes, onions, and raisin. In the Ilocos region of the northern Philippines, famous for its local empanada, the pantry is made with egg yolk, local sausages, green papayas, and mongo beans. Pinoy empanada is either baked or deep fried, giving it near a crew or a crunchy texture. And the eighth one is monay. Basically, is a milk and egg bread. Monay is a heavy and fine and solid baked goodie that is easily recognized by its large size, round shape, and creases on the top. Its explore is a bit hard, but its interior is soft, chewy, and tasty enough to eat without any spread. Literally translate to English as coconut bread. Pan de coco is a sweet, medium sized bread with sweet shattered coconut meat inside, plump, round, and golden brown. It is usually eaten as a mid-afternoon snack. And the last one is poto seco. Light, crunchy, and a bit tough on the outside. Poto seco is a Filipino butter pantry like that Filipino love to dip into coffee or hot chocolate. It's quickly recognized by its small size, round shape, and white color. Poto seco can be ready in less than 30 minutes. Its ingredients are simple: butter, sugar, corn flour, and baking powder. And that's it.